How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video. And yesterday I took the ZR1 to a Porsche meet with Eric because he is a Porsche fanboy. Even though he's about as old as when they were created, he's not one of these new era TikTok kids, clearly. Anyways, all the cars there were super nice. So instead of me going around saying, wow, this is a nice Porsche, wow, this is a nice Porsche, wow, this is a nice Porsche, we're just going to roast all of them. We're going to flame them up and make fun of all of them, okay? It's all lighthearted. Clearly, I just said they're nice cars. So if somebody is offended, well, you're a snowflake or something. I don't know what to tell you. There's something wrong with you inside the head. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive right in. The first car we saw was the one we parked next to. Obviously, we had to go check out the R34. And this has to be the most cookie cutter R34 I've ever seen. R34 with Volk TE37s. Oh my god, it's like this guy opened up TikTok and said, what car do I need to buy to fit into the car scene? And he saw the first 12-year-old edit. You bought the R34, so clearly you couldn't afford the new R35. What a dummy dum-dum. Who would buy an older R34 when you can just go out and buy the new R35? If it was me, obviously I would have bought the R35 or a GT3 RS, but I mean, this dummy dum-dum bought something that he can't even go through a drive-through with. What a moron. Anyways, next car was this little snowflake car that's probably never seen the track. He's got little track arrow and little track hood pins and, of course, BBSs. You'll see that's a common theme with all these cars is all these dog shit BBSs on all these Porsches. He's got a roll cage as if he's anticipating himself going to crash because he's stupid and can't drive. He's got a big-ass wing. It looks like he ripped it off of a Honda Civic at AutoZone. This wing clearly lets you know you're compensating for something, so all the chicks ain't going to talk to you. I mean, come on. Like at this point, why even drive this thing around? Behind him was his little butt buddy, a position he's very fond of, being behind his homeboy. And yeah, he's got some more track stuff. He's got a little tow hook, which shows that it's been towed before, which means this dummy dum-dum probably went off track and needed to be rescued. And of course, we have more BBSs, more cookie cutter Porsche builds. Just what's with Porsches and BBSs, man? There's other wheels out there. There's so many other wheels out there. You guys can go buy a million different things. Anyways, he has like a shifter that looks like it was in my Honda Civic. If you guys remember, my K-swapped Honda Civic had a very similar shifter. And once again, another big wing, obviously compensating for something. And this one doesn't have an exhaust. Probably got it stolen, just like his catalytic converters out in front of his house in the hood because he spent all of his money on a car. It makes sense to me. I mean, it honestly just adds up. You buy these tiny mirrors, and you probably bought a tiny house to go with it. Now, you ever see a Porsche with mix-match color panels before? That just lets you know you bought a salvage title Porsche. I mean, take a look at this wannabe GT2 RS. It might be real, it might not be real, but all I know is its bumper in the rear is aftermarket, and of course, it probably was rear-ended, and once again, BBSs, of course. Going around the car into the interior, it's not even a manual. Dude can't even drive stick, but he owns this car. That's crazy. They just let anyone buy cars nowadays. Why couldn't they be like Ferrari and have some requirements, have some class? Anyways, he's got these purple exhaust tips sticking out the back. I don't know what he thinks is LGBT month all year long or something like that, but yeah, purple exhaust tips. I thought I've seen it all until I saw this piece of shit. Then we got a couple of geezers just trying to fit in with the young crowd. Buddy, these cars are well past their prime. Just let them die. I'll give you $500 and I'll take it to a junkyard. That offer is only good till the end of the day. So if I don't hear from you, I'm going to assume that you probably already took it to a junkyard. I mean, look at these two things. Well, who's cruising around in these? Like when there's other cars pulling up like a GT2 RS and a ZR1, why even bother pulling up at this point? You should just stay home and make some cupcakes for everyone else. Anyways, next car, I bet we can already guess what kind of wheels are on this Porsche right here. It looks very similar to the last two we just saw. It might even be one that just teleported over there because honestly it looks identical, but no, it's another Porsche with gold BBSs, of course. It's a GT3. It's got little AutoZone hood pins. I must have saw one of my Ricer videos and got inspired. And yeah, it's got little flares on it. It's cute. Again, cookie cutter BBS wheels. Looking at the rear, he's got a giant Porsche banner for the astronauts, I guess. I don't know who's going to see that on a track. Maybe people doing barrel rolls over you like it's Rocket League, but honestly, I don't get the point of that sticker. Now, I got a vendetta with this car because Fast and Furious is the greatest movie series ever made, and this car took out the main character. So I gave this guy a couple key marks around his vehicle just so he knows not to pull up to the meet and disrespect the legend Paul Walker himself like this. It doesn't matter if Paul Walker, might have had some questionable dating experiences and had some questionable age gaps, but regardless, This car took him out and ended / ruined one of the best franchises on earth. So I had to let Blood know not to pull up on my side of the town anymore. Gave him a couple key marks, devalued this piece of shit. He's got some weird suppressor looking exhaust tips on it. I don't know who designed this car, if it was Porsche or the same people that designed the FK8 Honda Civic Type R, but it's just got goofy aero all over this thing. I mean, look at these ducts. Does it even go anywhere? Probably not. It's cooling off this dude's wallet after spending so much money on this piece of shit. I just don't understand the hype around this car. I mean, it took out the legend himself. Why did it have to ruin the series? Finally, a couple colors that are actually able to stand out. Thank God we're not looking at the same cookie cutter white Porsche. We got this with RS wheels. I mean, it's cool, I guess. He's got little, like, I don't know. Those brakes honestly look like something I saw on Car ID from Stop Tech. So I don't know if that's where he got him. He's got a lot of blue everywhere. Can you dare guess his favorite color? It's probably red. Looking at this car, he's got a giant wing. I don't know what's up with Porsche guys and giant wings and compensating for something. I mean, I know that they try to keep up with Corvettes around the track, but you notice a lot of Corvettes, they don't come with giant wings from factory. Only like the big top-end models, not these little baby cookie cutter Porsches. So if you guys want to go ahead and, you know, stop putting these giant wings on your car, you might lessen up some drag, in which case you'll be able to actually probably keep up on the straights with that little piece of shit outdated flat six. Just a little tip from a V8 God, the ZR1 owner here. Anyways, next up, of course, there's going to be at least one of these here. If you guys go on TikTok and you type in car talk, I guarantee you guys are just going to see nothing but Porsche GT3 fanboys. People that are never even going to sit in a Porsche or let alone drive one or own one. They get wet over this car. I don't know what's the hype about it. I mean, look at it. It just looks like a fucking Porsche with a glorified body kit on it. Looking in the interior, I don't even have a screen in there. How am I supposed to watch Subway Surfer edits and, you know, Joe Rogan podcasts in there? Doesn't make any sense for me. No back seats, which means less babes going in there. I don't get the hype around this car. I mean, look at it. It's got this giant wing, once again, compensating for something. And I hear this one does that active aero thing. So I guess the brakes on this car are so dog shit that you need an assist from the wing. It just blows me away that they let this thing go onto the street. Like, what if an owner doesn't want to have a wing? Does he have shitty brakes in? I don't know. He's got Rowdy GT3 as his license plate. He's probably never seen a track in his life. He's probably never even visited a track in his whole life. He's probably never even watched a NASCAR race or knows who Jeff Gordon is. What a poser. Next up, there was a bee on my boy Jake. I had to go ahead and handle this. I didn't want to kill the bee. They're an endangered species. By the way, I'm a nonchalant redhead, 6 foot tall. So if any females out there want to go ahead and slide in, go for it. I went ahead and blew it off him with my powerful air lungs. So yeah, I'm a pretty good blower, if you know what I mean. That sounded wrong. Anyways, next car, we got this baby blue, GT3, whatever it is. It's probably a GT3. I don't even know at this point, man. Everything here is a goddamn GT3. This dude wanted to be different and wrapped his baby blue. It just looks like an off color of white with the lighting. Honestly, I don't get what the point is. Why are you going to let everyone know that you get no bitches with a color like this? I mean, it's baby blue. Ain't no chick ever get drippy in the panties over a baby blue car. Like, the only baby blue car I'd go ahead and get wet over is Sally from Cars, and she's not even this shade of blue, so you failed at that. Nearby was this BMW that decided to try to crash the Porsche meet. You ain't crashing nothing except your car with a broken lip like that. I mean, take a look at this pile of salvage title that we're looking at. He doesn't have, nope, never mind. He does have BBSs on this thing. Of course, looking at the interior, we have one Recaro seat. Homeboy really couldn't afford a second one. That's kind of crazy if you ask me. And he's got an aftermarket steering wheel, probably the airbag deployed on the OEM one, so he used it as an excuse to put an aftermarket one on. And then he's got a little tiny wing that doesn't really fit the vehicle. So it's honestly just kind of cute seeing what these BMW people try to do when they try to crash a Porsche meet. They kind of just dress up their car like a Porsche and then try to ruin the meet for everyone else. Look at, he's even got GT2 style fender vents. Now I feel like this might have been a free wrap given to this owner because he picked the ugliest color ever made. They probably had this thing laying in the warehouse for years now, and of course Porsche owners are so cheap that they're going to buy the cheapest thing. Once again, on BBS's. Taking a look at this car though, it honestly just looks like a little turd that my puppies would shit out. It's the same color. It's like puppy shit green. Gotta love it. My favorite color. Puppy shit green with BBS's. Close by to that turd was this red GT3. It kind of looks orange on camera. I'm not really sure what color it was, honestly. It was such a forgetful car, I don't even remember. With the yellow calipers, though, it looks like it was designed for Ronald McDonald himself. And then he's got two giant Honda Civic hood scoops on the back of this thing. He's obviously trying to take inspiration from the real race cars, the Honda Civics with hood scoops. I don't blame them. I mean, when you see those two ripping it down the track, you get excited. When you see this ripping it down the track, not very exciting. It just looks very basic, very cookie cutter. Not demore. I don't even know what that word is. I'm not even going to try to say that. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the only car so far not on BBSs. I don't know what these dog shit wheels were, but they weren't BBSs, so I got to give him the benefit of the doubt and compliment him on something different. This is one of the only cars I actually like there, because it wasn't the same as everything else. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. But walking around it, I mean, it's just got this beefy look to it. It's like a thick girl, and I really like them thick girls, if you know what I'm saying. And just with the wheels being slightly different than everything else, it gave my eyes a break from looking at the same cookie cutter builds over and over and over and over again. So looking at something different was a breath of fresh air. We then walked over to the rejects car lot. This is where all the cars go that didn't get invited to the car meet. They tried to pull up and they just shoot them away. We got a Mach-E, we got an Alpha or Jaguar, we got a couple of Raptors parked on the street, we got a shitty wannabe Porsche off-road vehicle. But we did see this aspiring Porsche owner. He obviously had to start out with the lower end model. We got the BMW M3 here. Obviously can't afford a Porsche 918 or 911 yet, so had to settle for something like this. OEM wheels from BMW are some of the nicer wheels, but the rest of the car just looks like every other wannabe lawyer out there. Just looks very basic, very boring. Next to him, though, was another BMW. This guy threw a wide body on his wannabe Supra. Giant canards. I mean, gigantic. Look at my big meaty hand next to it. By the way, ladies, that is a very nice and clean hand, if you are wondering. And up front, we have some deep dish TE37s. Once again, very cookie cutter. Homeboy just Googled what wheels goes good on a Japanese vehicle and picked the first ones. They are very deep dish and also very dirty, it looks like. He also has a gigantic wing on the back as well. Definitely not compensating for anything. Everything on this car is very big. I guarantee the owner himself is probably 5'2". Nearby were a couple E92 M3s. Finally, some people with some actual taste around here. I mean, sadly, he did get the BBS cancer and put BBS on his fucking car once again. But the pair of these cars was really clean. I mean, compared to everything else, honestly, I don't know why it's not just an M3 meet. These are obviously better than GT3s. If you buy a GT3, you're just a stupid dummy dum-dum who likes wasting his money. You can get the same amount of performance out of this E92 M3 here as you could a GT3. It's like the same car if you think about it. I mean, this is a V8, the other one's a flat 6. That's pretty much the same thing. This is a front engine, the other one's rear engine. If you think about it, if you drive this in reverse, it's pretty much the same thing. It's honestly, they're two very similar cars, and I just don't understand why we don't see many of these around. Next up, we have a McLaren 750S. I don't like what McLaren did with this refresh. These wheels look like Honda Accord wheels. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. They must have got inspired from fucking SpongeBob SquarePants Patrick Star right there. They also ruined the exhaust tip. What kind of pig nose fucking exhaust tip is this? I'll get close to it right here, but what is this exhaust tip? Who the fuck thought this looks cool? What dumb-ass McLaren tech thought that that was a good idea? Right next to it was another 750S, and all more just solidified. Thank God I didn't buy one of these. I was honestly like looking at these, and then I was like, you know what, that exhaust tip isn't the best. So I settled for the Corvette, the C6 Corvette from 09. I settled for that instead of this, and I made a better decision. Anyways, yeah, that was the car meet. Hopefully you guys did. Okay, I'm tired of that voice. Anyways, yeah. That was the car meet. It was an actual good car meet, obviously. I'm just clowning on everyone. There were a lot of BBSs, and we were clowning on people there for actually doing that, but it was an enjoyable car meet overall. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.